Chapter. So welcome to all of you, whether you're here in person or whether you're watching this on a replay. My name is Evelyn Fassett. I am the Technical Director to Actify, and Penny is also here with us. She is the founder of To Actify. And we really wanted to share this information with you because we thought it was very important. And it's kind of fun just to connect with you and share a little bit of how to do some of the stuff. So the webinar is just 30 minutes long, and it's called Fascinate with a Custom LinkedIn Profile Background. So, okay, we have a lot of information to cover this afternoon, so I'd like to jump right in. First off is, why should you want a custom background for your LinkedIn profile? The To Actify program teaches you that it's so beneficial to have a magnetic profile, and your profile helps in attracting your ideal audience. This is a key part of networking with the right people for opportunities and referrals. Your profile background can communicate a clear message, your personal brand, information about your specialties, and it's primary real estate. It is the first thing that people see when they come to your profile, and it can include keywords that you can use to attract your ideal audience. It demonstrates your creativity when people see that you have a profile that looks different than most of the people on LinkedIn, and it also sets you apart from the competition. So what we're going to do today is share some great resources that you'll be able to use for other things later, but for today, we'll be focusing on using those resources to create your custom background image. And we'll also send the replay out to everyone who's registered in the next day or so. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually share a video that I created to show you step by step how to create the background graphic. So do you have anything that you would like to share, Penny, before I start the video?
Well, I think that it's really important, just to reiterate what Evelyn said about this being primary real estate. And people start at the top. They look at your profile picture, they look at the background. You want to get them to start reading the summary and learning more about you.
Awesome. Okay, thanks a lot. So I'm going to jump up and share the video. Hi, Evelyn Fassett here. We're going to take a little time here to show you how to fascinate with a custom LinkedIn profile background photo. We want you to stand out. Our To Actify program specializes in teaching people how to network online and how to stand out and rise above the competition. When I look at LinkedIn, most of the profiles that I've seen have the default blue graphic. So when you look at a profile that has a nice graphic that tells you something about the person, it really catches your attention. And it's easy to create using free tools. I'm going to walk you through the process right now. 3 tools that we will use are going to be a couple of free websites where you can get photos. One is photo.com, pixabay.com, and then we're going to use a free online program called Canva.com to edit the graphic and create it. This program lets you create any kind of graphic and layer text and logos and anything you want over each graphic. I have a mention here of xnview.com. If the time were to arise that you needed to crop one of the pictures you found for your background in order to make it work right, then this is a great free download program that you can use for your computer. And you'll see when we're actually building the graphic when that might happen. Also, Canva itself has a lot of free photos. So you've got 3 options there for finding photos, and then the one program to create it. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at some other people on LinkedIn and how they've used this custom background graphic to their advantage. Greg Jarbo here, he has chosen a color, a brownish color with his smaller photo on it, and then the wording there that tells you right away what his specialties are. So it's very helpful. Here is my profile, and I'm using To Actify branding as my background photo rather than specific keywords for myself. Then we have another person here who has a logo and some words with a purple background. And I wanted to mention that just recently, LinkedIn changed the profile photo so that it goes all the way to the left. It used to be in the center. So some people's, background graphic like this one, it probably looked better when he was in the center. And so I'm noticing that some people probably haven't yet gotten to adjust their photo and move it back, or move their background around so that it makes sense with the photo on the left. And now this person, he's not just using a color in his background, he's using a graphic. You can see the scales, they're the balance scales. And then the words here right away tell you what his specialties are. And that's a great thing to have, because before they even go into reading your profile, they know something about you and they know what your specialties are. So let's go, as an example, look at a couple of these free photo sites so you can see the first step that you need to create your custom background. So photo.com is one of them, and you can use different words here to search for the photo that you might find interesting. Perhaps you might type science or engineering, some kind of a keyword that is related to your specialty. And then you can see what kinds of pictures get brought up. So for engineer, here's some of the photos that get brought up. So if you were to look through these and you didn't really find something that you really like, you could try a different keyword here, or you could jump to a different website. So let's go to Pixabay. Here's another free website. The same thing, you could type engineer here and see what would come up. And as you kind of scroll through these different background photos, keep in mind that you want probably the more right side of the photo to not be super busy, because you're going to be putting some wording there and you don't want the wording to get lost in the photo itself. So let's say, for instance, that I liked this DNA strand. You just click on it, and you don't even have to log in to Pixabay. You just say free download, and then the size that they have selected is 1920 by 960, and that's plenty big for what we need. If you wanted to download their largest size on Pixabay, then you do have to create a free account and log in, but it doesn't cost you anything. So now I'm going to say download the next to the biggest size, and then it asks you where you want to put it. And so we can just take it and put it on our in our LinkedIn location here. So we can just save it there. And then once you have the graphic that you've chosen, go ahead and go to canva.com. And if you don't have an account here, you can create a free account and then log in. Or if you've already created an account, go ahead and log in. And then for our particular graphic, we're going to use custom dimensions. They have a lot of different templates of all different sizes, but I like to just enter the size that I want. It seems much easier. So the size that we're going to make is 1600 by 400, which is the LinkedIn recommended basic size. And then it creates a template box here for you, this white box, to let you know what you're working with. And I wanted to let you know too over here that if you wanted to look at Canva for some free photos, you click on Elements and then click on Free Photos. And there's all kinds of photos here. You can see the words free on the ones that are free. And there are some that you might pay $1, some that require you be an actual pro member, so I have a paid membership to Canva. But the free version of Canva is very useful. You don't really need to pay for the upgrade. And there's lots of free photos to choose from. So you can do the same thing here. You can type in the keywords to bring up the different graphics that you might find interesting for your particular specialties. And here we go, kind of scroll down and see what they've got here. Okay, so since we already did pick our photo and we haven't found anything we like better, let's go ahead and get started. So what we can do is click on uploads, and then this will bring up any photos that you've already uploaded, or if you need to upload a new photo, then you just click on the green button here and then grab your photo and upload it. Now, I've already uploaded a few different ones. I have the DNA strand I already uploaded. And then there's another one too that I like. I'm gonna grab the virus. I think this is kind of cool. So what we're gonna do first is the photos are much smaller than the template box that we need to fill. So you just grab the corners of the photos and you drag it until it overlaps the full template. And then once you've done that, we can see here that there's lots of photo above and below the little window that it's showing us. So you can drag up and down until you have the best part of the graphic being displayed here. And on this, notice how there's a clear area here on the right. So that'll be perfect for me to put the words in that area. And then remember that on the lower left, your profile photo is going to show up there. So you want to make sure there's nothing really important there. And about the profile photos also, there are some specifics that you agree to when you upload your profile photo. I just wanted to touch on it really quick. About the smallest size you need for that profile photo is 400 by 400 pixels. You can put a really, really big picture there too. They let you go all the way up to 7,680 pixels wide. But probably 400 or 500 square is about what you want to do. And then you also have to agree that you will not use an image that is not your likeness or a headshot for your profile. They don't want you using logos or a picture of a dog or anything that is not a true headshot. So just remember that when you're uploading your profile photo. Okay, and so now that we've got our our graphic positioned where we want it, I'm going to go ahead and add some text. So here, the heading, the subheading, and the body text, really it doesn't matter which one you choose because you're going to choose your own size and font and color anyway. So I usually grab the subheading because it's kind of a medium size. It's not too big, it's not too small. And you just grab it and drag it where you want it here on your background. And so what you put here are some words that are really your specialties or the things that you want your viewers to know about you. What are your interests? What are your specialties? So let's say you were interested in medical devices. Let's put medical devices here. You can put, any subject. Maybe there's a specialty that you had when you were an intern or a job that you might have had. And so you can highlight that here. And I like to make them left justified just because when we stack them on top of each other, it's kind of easier to line them up when you have each of them justified to the left. So now I have medical devices. Let's go and grab another subheading here. And let's say for the next title, I am interested in project management. Maybe that's one of my special skills. Oh, it helps that I spell it right. Manage. Okay. Again, I'm going to justify that to the left. And then I'm going to drag it so that it lines up with the one above. And you just move your cursor around until you see the 4 arrows, and then you can drag it. And notice when you get it in position, it has a line on the left Canva is really helpful that way. It has a lot of these little guidelines that will pop up when you're dragging elements around. It'll show you where the center of the entire graphic is, or when you're lined up with another element. So it's very helpful. And let's add a third item. And what do we want to put here? Let's see, medical devices, project management. How about research? Maybe I am really interested in still doing research if anybody wants to hire me for that. So let's go left justify and then get the 4 arrows, drag it. There, it's nice and lined up with the others. Okay, and now when I'm looking at this, the words are a little bit hard to read over the background. So I'm going to give it a try and see what happens if I make it white. So I'm going to make the word, look at how that pops. Yeah, and then I don't like that font so much. I'm going to change to a different font here. Let's go. I kind of like this one. Called Architect's Daughter, because it kind of reminds me of a draftsman or kind of science-y. The size seems a little big to me, so I'm going to drop it down to about 18 pixels. There, great. So now I just do that same thing to each of them. And once you've chosen a font, notice how it brought it up to the top so that you can easily click on it. And then there's the size, and there's the color. And now medical devices, I'm going to do the same thing. Change the font, change the size, and change the color. There we go. And then I can kind of see how that looks. I kind of like it. I could move them closer together if I wanted, but I think that looks pretty balanced. So once you've done this, then you're done. If you wanted to have a color, for instance, like Greg Jarbo's example where he had a color in the background and then he had his photo, a smaller photo up on the right, you can choose a background here at Canva and you can pick any color. The plus lets you choose your own custom colors, and they also have a lot of background textures here for free. So you could grab some of these background textures if you wanted just a texture or one of the backgrounds that they have that are free. And then you see down here, some of them are $1. But I just wanted to let you know that you can make just a solid color your background rather than a graphic. So now I'm all finished with this one. I'm going to click download up here. And you can save it as either a JPEG or a PNG. Either one LinkedIn accepts fine. So I'm going to save this as a JPEG. And then it's going to download it to my computer here. And so there it is. I'm going to call it something different. I'm going to call it, how about Evelyn 1. Okay, there we go. And then here they make it really easy for you to tweet or email about your experience with Canva. So I'm just going to close that. And now that I have this graphic on my computer, I'm going to go back to my LinkedIn profile here. And to get here, once you logged into LinkedIn, you could click on your little circle picture up here and click on View Profile. That will take you to this page. Then you click first on this pencil, which then brings you to this editor page where you can see the pencil to click to actually change your graphic. So now, once you have your graphic, you can drag it around if your picture is bigger than their grid here. For instance, my picture here is taller, so I can drag it up and down a little bit to adjust it somewhat. So if you made on purpose, if you made your background larger, that would give you some playroom there. And to change the photo, you'll probably have your blue default LinkedIn photo there. You click on Change Photo, and then it's going to bring you to your computer where you can go find the graphic that you made, and then here it is. So now, if you wanted to adjust it with a couple of these tools that LinkedIn provides, you can zoom it in a bit if you want. And you can also turn it a little bit. So you can kind of make it a little bit off kilter, which is kind of fun. So once here, let me zoom out now there. So if you wanted to add a little interest to your graphic by, putting it a little bit on a slant, you could do that. Just make sure that the black area in the background isn't in the grid here, because you don't want to have a chunk of the background in your final product. Then once you're done here, you just click apply, and that's all there is to it. So we're going to go ahead and jump back now to see if you have any questions.
I have had some people get very creative, and they put a lot of stuff in that background picture, but really you have to think about what is the objective. The objective is to be remembered by some key words. So, it's good to get fancy and creative, but you want to really be remembered as your objective. And by creating something that really gets that point across, you are demonstrating your communication and your creativity skills just by what you put on your profile. When you graduate or after you graduate, to get out there and start looking for a job then and going online for job board applications, a lot of people are surprised at how long it can take.
And Penny, what do you see the difference in time that it takes to find a job for people who don't use the To Actify networking tools and those who do?
Well, the people that I've worked with, those that have graduated, some of them are into their 7 and 8 months through online job applications, and they're still looking, versus the people that we've been working with 2 to 3 months. So you find a job sooner, you earn income sooner, and it's not only for that one job, you are doing the work for your career advancement going forward.
Yeah, the skills that you learn will be used to find better jobs later, not just the first job. So for sure.
Many people have said, God, I wish I knew about this sooner.
Yeah, it seems kind of like a no-brainer, but it really is a skill, that you have to develop. And a lot of people that we've been working with, you'll see if you go onto our website, toactify.com, there are a lot of testimonials of people who have gone through our program. And it's amazing how they are surprised that it works. They're like, I can't believe it. I actually reached out and I made a couple of connections and I found a job. It's like because people are out there trying to find good employees, and that is like, we don't understand that they're having the same problem trying to find us as we're having to let them find us. And if we make it easier for them to find us, then so much better for both of us, for us and them. So I think it looks like we're kind of at the end of our 30 minutes. So if there's no more questions, then we can just say have a great rest of the day. And thank you so much for showing up to learn how to fascinate with a LinkedIn background.